And then from there, you can just share. Yeah, it should be live on my own wall, and I'm sharing it also in the Warriors. So, yeah, I can see us there. So if you want to share it so people can see it from your side, you can share it now, and then we can start slowly.
Sure. How do I share from my site? I don't know how I do it.
You just go in sharing, and you go newsfeed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect. So I'm very glad actually to have you for this interview. It's been almost 2 years, no, even less than 2 years since the last time we met, and you have done some pretty cool things since then. But before that, before we go there, I would just like to hear of who is April right now. Like, how do you recognize yourself? Like, who are you right now?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Alika. And again, it's just wonderful to with technology be able to cross paths again. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just give a little bit of like who I am, and there's been it's been a very interesting period for me to really step back and look at what makes April April, and in particular reflecting on my Chinese name, which is Shuangduo, which means double plenty, and which really talks about the abundance and the often interesting opposing facets of my life. So I'm originally from California. My formative years were in Taiwan. So I'm biculturally English, Chinese. I've worked internationally. I've been to over 60 countries, worked in many of them, and I have now been in Asia for 30 years. I'm right now in Singapore. I've been here now for 11. My I connect East and West people and technology, and this is really blessed with my very fortunate, prestigious education experience at Yale in engineering and Stanford MBA. So I also have raised 4 children, and really right now my passion is to close the gaps between the haves and have-nots. So so looking into my past, I am building on a corporate foundation with companies like IBM, Honeywell, McKinsey. But the last 10 years, I have become an entrepreneur to be able to pursue projects that are of my passion to close the gaps that I talked about. Particularly this year, this pandemic year has been a reset, and I have started 2 businesses, really uh, to really leverage, I think, my particular strength and the sweet spot to really make a difference in the world. So that's just a little bit of my background.
So, wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for this introduction. And tell me how it was the shift from working in these big corporations into becoming an entrepreneur. And how do you feel now that that your projects have started taking shape? And it's funny actually that you said about the double identity, because you have 2 projects happening at the same time. And I don't know if you have connected that, but how do all of these parts connect together for you?
Yes, yeah. So for the first 10 years, it's all been in technology. And then the last 20 years, I come from a long lineage of educators, school builders in China. So I have been mostly involved in education and technology. So for the first, so many of those years was using technology to democratize access to education. So that's affordable, it's relevant. And then, so I've been involved in operating one of the first distance learning MBA programs in Asia. I've also offered 130,000 scholarship for girls in China. That's through an NGO, Zigen, which is what my mom founded. That was where we met in Davos when mom had gone there for the Zigen Fund. So those 20 years was in education, and I think which brings me to well, actually now 25 years. So brings me to this pandemic year. I think Davos and then also this pandemic year has just made me feel that education is too slow. I feel even though it's meaningful, girls' education, awareness, I had a huge sense that the world is requires a bigger kickstart, and I think I'm also very fortunate. At a stage of my life where I'm looking at an incredible, very blessed with a lot of successful achievement in corporate and more traditional businesses, even though as an entrepreneur, where I'm like, okay, I'm really ready to do something quite different. So basically, about a year ago, I founded two companies. So one is actually called Swando. So that's my middle name, Shangduo, and I really focus on bringing in green tech into Asia. So this is and I wanted to make it more tangible than education. So this involves hydrogen fuel cell, plasma activated water, really basic aspects, access to education, to energy, to water, maybe even um, uh, information network. And so that business is really bridging the technology from whether it's Israel or Eastern Europe or America to Asia, such as Indonesia, South Korea, and so that's in recognizing that in addition to the technology, there's also people. So that is my Swando business, and I not only bring in the technology, but I also, as I say, mentioned to the people. So I do coaching and consultancy work, really to also bring in how to, the attitude of presence. I mean, you just talked about the spiritual, the four elements. I mean, I'm even more cognizant that there's technology, there's a lot of things in the air, but there is that fifth element and I really think it's presence. It's just being able to be not shook by all the noises that are around us, and to just come to the central presence. So that's my Swando business, and it's I've actually pivoted to a field that I do have some background as an engineer from quite a number of years ago, but it's really quite a new field, and so I'm very it was really through my decision to become more hands dirty that I pivoted into this field. And so that's I think a lot of this now is truly believing the serendipity, because we're all not able to travel. But I am, for instance, at the moment, coordinating amongst Israel, Singapore, and Indonesia to bring in a project to replace diesel generators in Indonesia in remote areas. I mean, how cool is that? So I feel very, very fortunate to be doing something like that. So that is the and that is what I also love about that is what I just talked about, is bringing in different people and to create these projects. And there's a light amongst all of us, because we all know we're doing sort of new things, dealing with new technology, and really trying to counter legacy systems that are legacy and not and unyielding because of existing greed or vested interests or just sheer, I don't know, ignorance and laziness. So there, shouldn't be using those terms, but it's that there's yeah, which is nature. There's an innate complacency. So it's interesting to try to push that. So then I'm going to talk about my other thing, which is even more like trying to take advantage of the reset year, and even more leaning into people. And this is something called 9 by 9. So 9 by 9 was started a year ago, and this is in partnership with one of my oldest friends, Christine Fellows, and we started it sort of feeling. But both of us have we know each other for over 30 years. In fact, one of one of our bonding points are we had our kid together, like at the same hospital. Like we were like walking around panting, go, oh my God, having a baby. And so we had a baby on the same day. Anyway, so together we founded this, and and it is through a shared belief that we are very lucky as women to have come this far in this world of what could be a very challenging environment. So what is 9 by 9? Well, 9 by 9 is to do 9 things over these 9 years that will achieve gender parity for working women in Asia by year 2030. 2030 is the year of the UN SDG number 5 for gender parity. And so we've set ourselves for these 9 years to do a multi-year initiative that's grounded in research. And that's very exciting to me, having a really wanting to have something that's, again, very solid, that is research data driven, and also to have it collaborative and endorse or action oriented by best practice in the industry. So so this has been also an incredible team building, a community building event where I have basically Christine and I, but a bit, I mean, I would say together we had brought together about 10 core people on our exco, and we have been meeting at least once a week or twice, and bringing together different expertise. And it is just I am privileged and sort of and is humbled by how much we have achieved so already. And even tonight there's something like it happened. It's so exciting. I'm just going, oh my God. It's like it's really great, but it's also very anchored. It's very grounded because of the very methodical research and the events we're planning. Okay, so I'm just stopped there at this moment, but these are my two and they're very I'm torn often on which to do, but they both feel like I'm really starting things that are a movement, and really things that we could really make impact. Yeah,
I really love that, and I really love that one is, it seems almost that they're very different, but they're like connecting each other, and they're kind of grounding each other. I feel that one of the two might be a little bit more ungrounded, but both together they create this wholeness, it feels, in your field at least. So and they both are really interesting, and I really hope they will go very far. I really feel you also, to tell you the truth, like much more grounded than the last time. I think both of us since the last time we met. It's a different period, completely different period. And I'm wondering, like, how is it I know that now it's like almost 1 o'clock in the night there, and how is it to be running like two projects that are starting, because it's different when a project is starting, it's different when the project is mature or is expanding, it's a different phase. So how do you remain in your ground and your balance, like as yourself, and you continue having your vision? Because I know that there are a lot of times that you're up in the sky, and there are many times that you're down in the ground because something went wrong. So Pradeshi does have these ups and downs. How do you remain balanced and aligned with your spiritual path, and being able to bring two babies in life at the same time?
Yeah, thank you, Aliko. And it is, now that you talk about it, it is so I would say I'm going to talk about 9 by 9 because it is a much more balanced experience, mostly because I have a team around me. Having a co-founder, Christine is very different from me. We have enormous trust and respect for each other, but our styles are completely different, which is really helpful. And the team that we have, so in the 9 by 9, because we have a very clear goal to basically give a report by November, and so there's a very clear structured milestones that are, and we've made adjustments, but having the team creates a momentum that makes it happen. So for instance, as of today, I'll tell you what has happened. So we have done our research. We have sent out 3,000 surveys to 6 countries. That's China, India, Japan, Indonesia, Singapore, and Hong Kong, which happens to cover half the world's population. We have collected this data. These are all women from the working ages 20s to 50s. And we have collected that data. We've analyzed the data. The data is unique in all the surveys we've seen out there, is that it includes a personal narrative of stories of how people feel, like what does gender parity mean to the individual. And it's just amazing to see how people, these are the word gender parity, equality. What does it actually mean to actually see a personal story about it? It just brings to life like what it actually means. So we have this data. We are next Friday going to present this preliminary data in our DEI roundtable, the diversity, equality, and inclusion roundtable in Singapore. And we have brought together about 10 human resource leads and DEI practitioners from companies like Visa, Twitter, BASF, Goldman Sachs. I mean, these are senior level people who have responded to our invite, and we're going to sit down and create a framework and to say these are the action, and we're breaking into 3 parts where the company can do, the boss can do, and the individual can do. So we're going to create this framework that's going to be very tangible. There's a lot of data out there. Like, I mean, the World Economic Forum has created a data showing that the pandemics has set the women, gender parity index back by a whole generation, 100 years. I mean, these are scary numbers. It's almost like climate change. I mean, the numbers are so overwhelming. So I'm just very excited to come up with this. And I think this is keeping me very focused. It's just going, wow, this is, this data, this information is are stories that I hope can make a difference. And then tonight, what I was going to say is so cool. So so we're going to issue a 9x9 sign token, a POAP token for the DEI roundtable. And we are going to leverage that, the POAP, I don't know if you're familiar, POAP is a NFT token for proof of attendance of an event. And so we're going to use that and basically create a community and also sort of gamify that, like reward people for actually doing 9x9 and practitioner endorsed action that will bring in gender parity. So and this is just honest. Yeah, I just feel it's just me. And that's what I'm here now at this forum is I found when I speak to groups, people come and then there's just like sparks happen, but in a very focused way. Like we know what we need to do. We have data to support it. And so, yeah, so I think that's, sorry, I'm telling you a lot more about 9x9 because in fact, our debut 6 weeks ago was actually with a female quotient here in Singapore and also in Japan through some of their virtual series. But female quotient, they ran the Equality Lounge at Davos. They are the largest pavilion, one of the larger pavilions outside of the World Economic Forum event. And so we're hoping to also be part of them in 2022 in Davos, also to really represent the other half of the world, which is Asia, and the very, very divergent and interesting colors of this part of the world. Yeah. So that's so that's about 9x9. But I do want to come back to your question about the grounding. Now, there's a very, very big thing that happened to me last year, which I need to share on. on why this has given me even greater um, grounding and maybe a feeling of presence of doing what I want to do is that I have been a cancer dancer for the last 10 months. Um, I, I have stage 1 breast cancer, and so through that whole process, I did this. I had a lumpectomy, chemotherapy, radiation. As a first move, I shaved my head. Can't see it now, but I have a very cool uh, 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 backhead tattoo. So it's just grown over, but it's like this big lotus and prism, and I'm probably gonna shave my head again. But it's to so I could take a photo of it. I never saw what quite it looks like, but you know, this journey of I mean, I was never, and I don't use any military terms. I think people tend to use fight, battle, or you're strong, or you're sick, or scared. Never felt that. Don't believe in that. Cancer dancer. It's been a sachet of an episode of life, and but it's humbling, learning about the conventional treatment, about alternative treatments, and I have done a deep dive. I never thought that I personally will come through this, and I have. So it's been very really that has definitely been very, very grounding, because just having to come right back to your body and to go through very really try, be very disciplined for for a while. It's been yeah. So I'm definitely not as disciplined right now on some of those sort of protocols, because I'm kind of busy right now. So.
Right. That's kind of amazing, actually, the way you're approaching it, first of all, and the softness that you bring into the space talking about it. It's really incredible. And also, like, holy cow, like you have been creating the business and transforming yourself, because I know that that's the only way to overcome cancer, actually, to really transform yourself from the inside out. And I kind of feel that they all came just a blossoming from together, just a huge, it was a really great reset. I guess the last year, and I'm very glad to see you more shining than ever before, so that's wonderful to see. And as we're going towards the closing, because I don't want to keep you very late, because it's very late, I want to hear what you feel is actually like gender parity. It's like, for you, how do you see the world? Let's say we reached this milestone. How would the world look like if we do, when we do?
Yeah. So I, I feel gender parity at the moment is I really right now feel that there's such overwhelming problems or challenges that we have to go through for more low-hanging fruit or simple terminology. So gender parity in a way is an easy way to say, let's just gender parity, equal men and women. But I think it's really and to me, what I used to think, I was one out of, there were only 2 engineers out of a whole class of 40 plus engineers. I've always been in the minority, but not only as a woman, but also as in many of the professions. And so I really feel that it is about what I talked before, democratizing access to education, to opportunity, to treatment. And I think I think it really requires technology, people, and systems to make it happen. It's so I feel um, again, I feel sometimes like the issue seems so complex. Like here in Asia, let me just give an example. So in our survey, we asked people, what is gender parity? And in Japan, basically almost half the people said, I don't know, or I don't think there's a problem here. Like there's nothing to be done. I mean, to me, Japan, like it's very clear Japan probably has quite a little bit of an issue with gender parity. but the problem, and this is quite common to many of the countries, is that a 25-30% of the women actually don't think there's a problem, or don't see that what is, or don't understand what is gender parity. And some of the examples that we get are things like, I got really sick and I have terrible period pains, and my son was had an accident, and my boss let me have 2 weeks off. Like, that's gender parity. This is basic human respect. It's not gender parity. But so I feel in my, like, I feel the things we're talking about, like, if you had asked me 6 months ago, I would have given you more eloquent, idealistic response. Right now, I feel that my expectations have been dropped, is that the gender equality for many women is basically just being treated as being treated as a human being. That's it. And it's really so simple, but it's so sad that this is a challenge for the world right now.
I do understand that in the end, because in the end, if we did treat everybody and everything, from my opinion, equally on this planet, we would have solved our problems. And if we include there also the animal and the plant kingdom and the minerals and everything, that's all we would need practically. If we all felt that we have equal rights, that's it. It is a long way until there. And I'm really glad that you're embarking on that, actually.
Yeah. So I think, and again, 9 by 9, because so we're able to come up with some of these we're trying to, on the one hand, recognize it is a complex, and it will take a long time for cultural changes, but also try to identify some of the I don't want to use hack, but particularly to me, again, is the fact that many women is awareness. Many women don't even understand or appreciate what is gender parity, and the other is actually the need for not only women but also men. So we're like, particularly around now, I'm thinking of doing something particularly just for male bosses. It's like, and there are unfortunately, there are a lot of men who are in management, only 12-13% of women are in boards, senior management, so minority women. So yeah, just be quite focused on the campaign.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a long answer, but yeah, it comes back to just little bit at a time and doing it. It's just and building up that momentum and using technology to create to get to that tipping point.
I really love that you're taking it from the human story through data to practical actions. I really feel that it's a very beautiful framework that you just follow, because it is grounded in the human, but then you do use data to really understand the bigger picture, but you bring it down to what can we do today, tomorrow, like you, me, the person that's on top of us, the person that's not, because otherwise it just remains there. It just remains there. There's no solution. It becomes too big to tackle. So going towards the end, I would like to ask you 2 last questions. So sure. What do you feel is the unique gift that April is bringing to the world? And what do you need right now as a support yourself to grow even further what you're doing?
Yeah. So my unique gift is connecting the East, the West, people and technology. I am the gateway to Asia. If there is anybody wanting to tackle to enter Asia or bring something to Asia, which the Asia part will strengthen. I think it will complement whatever it is. And I'm based in Asia. I can really facilitate that, which is what's happened with my Swando business, bringing in technology into Asia. So that is my unique gift. What I'm asking for in the world is that I feel that there are many things that we're talking about has been invented. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And I really liked your your point, Aliki, is that I think each of us, we could be our own entity, but I feel there must be a better way to share these experiences, so that yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how we could do greater collaborative systems where people could do what they believe in, because these have to be driven by your own, and, and humanity, people. Every person's unique with goodness, purity, and love. It's amazing, but I think there's um, I'm looking for a collaborative system that could allow people to share their best, complement each other, and in order to make more. And I have not found that yet. I'm trying to, I'm hoping to, with the 9 by 9 framework, we're hoping to be able to use this. We will never, we're just providing what you just talked about, just providing a framework, that giving the stories. And I'm hoping this could maybe allow to a curation of services. But I would love to hear more how people are doing that, such as what you're doing. How can you create a system where people could collaborate and also be rewarded through that collaboration?
I love that. I think that's what we are all searching, like parallelly together. And it's really interesting to keep this conversation up, the two of us, because I'm in exactly in the same space as we were talking before. Thank you so much for today. I will go off Facebook, but stay on the same call so we can do the short one.
Okay.
And thank you very much for all your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, Aliki. Thank you so much for the opportunity. All right. And all you out there supporting Aliki, and if you're listening in, have a, I don't know, smile and think of something really beautiful.
I love that. Thank you so much, April.